A family's peaceful existence in a secluded farmstead is disrupted when a celestial body drastically alters their mundane lives. By a quiet river in Arkham, a cloaked Lavinia practices witchcraft in hopes to rid her mother of a severe illness. While she recites her wishes, a hydrologist named Ward appears behind her, interrupting her ritual. After introducing himself, Ward discloses that he's doing a survey of the valley for a hydroelectric company. When she tries to turn him away, the surveyor shows off his knowledge about witchcraft, which impresses her. Before leaving the stranger, Lavinia instructs him on how to get to the valley, then rides back to the farmhouse on her horse, Comet. Once she gets home, Lavinia is greeted by her father, Nathan, who scolds her for not wearing her riding helmet and boots. Shortly after, her mother, Teresa, comes out of the house, asking if she knows where her brother is. After getting off her horse, Lavinia heads to the stable, where she finds her brother Benny and his dog Sam. After calling Benny for dinner, Lavinia shares that she met Ward earlier by the river and finds him cute. On her way back to the house, Lavinia catches her other brother Jack staring down the water well in their front yard, claiming that he'll see stars if he looks long enough. While the Gardners have dinner, Lavinia complains about their food, preferring the taste of fast food when they were still living in the city. Meanwhile, Teresa fears losing clients as a stockbroker because of their poor internet connection in the rural location. After dinner, Teresa and Nathan cuddle on the veranda, where the latter expresses his relief now that they're leading a peaceful and quiet life in his father's farm after living in the city for so long. Following this, the couple goes to their bedroom to spend intimate time with each other. In the middle of Benny's viewing of a NASA video, the glass on his table begins to shake violently. Meanwhile, a fearful Jack clings firmly to his stuffed dinosaur toy as he feels the roof tremble. Lavinia, despite the commotion going on around her, sleeps soundly in her room. Terrified, Jack leaves his room and sees Sam across the hall. Behind him, a purple light suddenly flashes, prompting the dog to bark aggressively. As the strange light seeps through the windows, Jack begins shivering on the floor before it passes through him. Suddenly, a loud bang and Jack screaming causes everyone to run out of their bedrooms and into the hall. Curious about what just happened, Nathan, Lavinia, and Benny follow a weird smell coming from outside, only to discover that a glowing purple meteorite crashed into their front yard. Suddenly, Teresa calls them, saying there's something wrong with Jack, who appears to be in shock. When Teresa suggests going to the doctor, Nathan refuses, pointing out that it's an hour away. As his parents worry, Jack finally speaks, stating that he has a headache. The next morning, Mayor Tuma, Sheriff Pierce, and Ward arrive at the Gardner residence to investigate the meteorite crash. When the hydrologist examines the meteorite, the debris appears to be cooling off. As Lavinia tries to flirt with Ward, Nathan orders his daughter to go inside, only for her to be lectured by her mother for having a crush on the hydrologist. Annoyed, the teen cries in her room, pushing her sharp nail into her skin. After checking the strange rock, Nathan heads to the stable to milk the alpacas. He then offers Ward a taste, but the hydrologist declines because he's lactose intolerant. When Ward asks if there are other people on their property he can talk to, Nathan orders Benny to take the hydrologist to the squatter named Ezra, whose place is filled with wires and cameras. After receiving a drink from Ezra, Ward examines the water closely and takes a sample to test it, only to see a weird purple color on the litmus paper. After testing, he receives a strange call, but the person on the other end doesn't speak. Later, as he investigates the place, he spots a purple light behind the bushes. Then, the car suddenly starts on its own, scaring him. That rainy night, the lightning's color is oddly purple. While Lavinia enjoys the rain, she's also in awe at witnessing how the meteorite draws purple lightning to it, creating a beautiful firework-like show. The next morning, Nathan and Teresa surprisingly find that the meteorite in their yard has gone missing. Little do they know, the meteorite has merged with the ground and contaminated their water supply. Shortly after, a media truck arrives to cover the event. Later, while watching the news, Nathan complains about how the media changed the story, referring to the meteorite as a UFO. While there in the living room, Teresa prepares the family's meal in the kitchen. As she slices the carrots, she obliviously chops 2 of her fingers off. Nathan immediately takes his wife wife to the hospital. Before leaving, he leaves Benny in charge of the household and to take care of the alpacas while he's gone. The next morning, Benny takes the alpacas back to the barn. Later, while Lavinia drinks coffee, she sees the alpacas eating grass in their yard, prompting her to call Benny, who's confused because he just fed them earlier. As Benny takes care of the animals, Lavinia approaches Jack, who reveals that he's talking to a man in the well. The confused teen stands back up, but suddenly feels dizzy as she walks back to the house. Suddenly, Lavinia gets a phone call from her dad, who's still in the hospital. However, they barely hear each other over a strange noise distorting their conversation. Meanwhile, Jack is busy coloring his drawing when a whistle from the well calls his attention. As he looks down, a mysterious object cracks open and then releases a strange-looking purple grasshopper with butterfly wings. In the kitchen, Lavinia is washing the plates when a bright purple light appears on her side. Then, the kitchen sink is suddenly filled with red fluid, prompting Lavinia to throw up in the bathroom toilet. Seconds later, Ward knocks on the Gardner's front door, attempting to warn them about the water contamination. While the nauseous Lavinia believes him, she refuses to let the hydrologist inside because she's not feeling well. Before leaving, Ward spots Jack by the well, who says he's playing with his invisible friends. To warn Ezra about the contamination, Ward heads to the hippie's den, but finds him recording the alien sounds he hears underneath the ground. When Ward puts on Ezra's headphones, the hydrologist dismisses the old man's theory, claiming that the noises are just geothermal sounds. Before taking off, Ward advises Ezra to stick to drinking bottled water. Meanwhile, Nathan and Teresa are on their way home when they almost run over a weird cat-like creature with glowing eyes. A worried Teresa then calls the kids at home to check on them, but no one answers the phone. In the front yard, Jack remains seated in front of the well when a purple light suddenly flashes, prompting the protective Sam to follow the light. However, while the dog approaches the harsh light, he suddenly growls and disappears. Inside the house, an ill Lavinia goes to Benny's room and notices that his brother's laptop is acting up. Shortly after, Benny enters, explaining how he weirdly got lost in the yard all day while searching for Sam. When they hear the phone ringing in the dining area, Lavinia and Benny rush downstairs to answer, but the caller doesn't respond. Strangely, the lights start to flicker, prompting the siblings to wonder where Jack is, who's still outside. Suddenly, the couple's car arrives, and Jack rushes over and hugs his mom. When Lavinia and Benny join them, Nathan scolds the pair for leaving their little brother outside. To convince her dad that something weird is going on, Lavinia tries to explain that they couldn't hear each other when he called. However, Nathan dismisses his children's concerns and reprimands Benny, whom he instructed to feed the alpacas. In Benny's defense, he explains that he already fed them, but Nathan doesn't believe his son. Instead, he grabs the flashlight and takes the alpacas back to the barn. When Nathan asks about their dog Sam, Lavinia suspects that he was taken by the mysterious entity that's been causing the recent bizarre events in their home. However, her grumpy father angrily walks away. Afterward, Nathan takes a shower and finds a strange, clear jelly-like blob on the shower drain. After holding it in his hand, the blob escapes, but leaves its slime on Nathan's hand, disgusting him. After taking the shower, Nathan complains to his wife about the weird things growing in the drain, saying he'd like to hire a plumber to sort it out. He adds that he still smells the awful stench from when the meteorite crashed in their yard. The following morning, Nathan scratches his skin while picking his tomatoes and peaches. Later, he discovers that the fruits are inedible, exasperating him. Meanwhile, Teresa is frustrated because their bad internet connection continues to negatively affect her work. When she demands Nathan fix it, her angry husband aggressively throws the fruits into the trash bin. After calming down, Nathan turns on the television. As he watches the news, he notices that his skin looks like scales as a result of bathing in the contaminated water. Later, Jack goes to the living room, only to see his dozing dad in front of their television screen, which is showing a distorted and grainy purple video. Meanwhile, Lavinia performs a witch ritual using the Necronomicon, etching symbols on her skin using a box cutter and offering her blood in exchange for protection and a means of escape. Outside, Benny sits on their front porch, looking at the crash site. Seconds later, Jack follows him and they both go to the stable, only to discover that the alpacas have turned into mutated beasts. Suddenly, a purple color starts to appear, prompting the the scared siblings to rush outside. As they run toward the house, Benny is able to stand further away, but the worried Teresa stops to hug Jack in front of the stable, and the purple electrical bolts strike the mother and child. Later, Nathan, Benny, and Lavinia are horrified to see that the woman's body has fused with Jack's. In a panic, Benny tries to contact the hospital, but when there's no dial tone, Nathan is left with no choice but to drive them there. However, the following morning, Nathan is enraged when his car doesn't start. When he gets out of the vehicle, he notices that his surroundings are filled with purple flowers and plants. In the living room, Lavinia notices her trembling mother, whom she thinks is absorbing Jack's body. Later, Lavinia, Benny, and Nathan carry the fused bodies upstairs to protect them from the sunlight, which they noticed had caused them pain. Upstairs, Teresa and Jack continue to make strange sounds, prompting an angry Nathan to get his rifle and head to the stables. However, when he enters, he's shocked to find all the alpacas' bodies joined together into one horrifying monster. After shooting the alpacas, Nathan heads back to the house and asks Lavinia and Benny to go downstairs so he can talk to his wife privately. After kissing his wife, he promises that he'll fix everything. Meanwhile, after Ward leaves the city hall following an unproductive meeting with the indifferent mayor, Sheriff Pierce suddenly calls him over to show him the alpaca's lifeless fused bodies Jake found near the Gardner's place. As the hydrologist examines the carcasses, he notes that the animals appear to have suffered from radiation burns. He and the sheriff swiftly decide to drive to the Gardner's residence to investigate. In the farmstead, Benny and Lavinia are planning their escape with Comet. However, the horse, whose eyes emit a purple glow, runs off without them. Suddenly, Benny hears his dog Sam and follows the sound to the well. To save his dog, he climbs down the well, going against his sister's pleas. However, in the middle of his descent, a purple light starts to fill the well, causing the teen to disappear into thin air. As Lavinia mourns, Nathan aggressively pulls her upstairs, locks her in the room, and orders her to feed Teresa. Then, he goes downstairs to watch TV. Inside the room, Lavinia turns around and is shocked to see that Teresa and Jack have turned into a horrifying mutated monster. Meanwhile, Ward and Sheriff Pierce arrive at the Gardner's house, where they're invited inside by an oddly behaving Nathan, who says his wife is in the living room. Suddenly, Lavinia screams from upstairs, prompting Ward and Pierce to rescue her. However, upon entering, both the hydrologist and sheriff are stunned at the gruesome sight of the mutated monster. Just when Lavinia is about to get bitten, Nathan arrives and takes the beast down with his gun. Then, Ward carries the scared Lavinia to the patrol car. On their way to the vehicle, Ward sees a purple tentacle-like light coming out of the well. Behind him, Nathan positions his gun to shoot the emerging light. However, when Pierce thinks Nathan is aiming at Ward, the sheriff fatally shoots him, ending his life. As Ward convinces the mourning Lavinia to go with them, they hear a high-pitched sound coming from Ezra's cabin, prompting them to check on the old man. Before leaving Lavinia, the hydrologist promises to come back for her. As soon as they reach the cabin, Ward and Pierce shockingly discover Ezra's body burned from radiation. However, when Ezra is about to combust, they immediately rush outside, only for the sheriff to be taken and killed by a mutated tree. After witnessing the sheriff's morbid fate, Ward rushes back to the Gardner front yard. There, he finds Lavinia standing in front of the well. When Lavinia faces Ward, he realizes that he's too late. Her skin and eyes have already turned purple, indicating that she's been fully infected. Seconds later, the marking on her forehead starts to emanate light, causing Ward to see an apocalyptic vision. Ward then witnesses how the water well releases a purple whirlpool reaching the sky. Seeing Lavinia vanish into the purple light, Ward stands up and rushes back to the house for safety. Inside the house, Ward finds Nathan and his other family members sitting in the living room and staring at him. While the purple light causes a reality distortion, Nathan stands up and attacks Ward, but the hydrologist manages to hide in the wine cellar. Eventually, the purple light intensifies and wipes out the entire property to ashes, leaving Ward as the sole survivor. After the explosion, the hydrologist walks towards the well, realizing how the whole area has seemingly lost all its color. Years later, a middle-aged Ward stands on top of a finished dam, which covers the former Gardner property. While he wishes the water to be deep enough to conceal the past, he swears that he'll never drink from it.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.